turn these chairs over a little more. Let me find out.
Decent turnout.
Yeah, I think so.
I was doing a lot of.
Right in the front there.
I was doing a lot of these events with Renegade, and they were having them at like the Moose Lodge.
Yeah.
And it was like maybe 10 people would show up.
Right.
Other than us who are people that
Putting
were
it on.
there.
Yeah.
And it was a terrible.
Yeah.
And as soon as he said Top Golf,
Yeah.
it just
showed up.
It just changed.
Yeah.
It really changed the whole equation. He's not marketing it any differently. It's the place.
It's the place.
Test.
We went out to Las Vegas together.
Everybody, we're about to start. 5 minutes.
Hello.
I'm gonna put one up here for the guys. You can hold that one. So, this one you guys will share amongst.
Bob, all these guys were the girl.
Got everybody's name. You're gonna introduce. Steve's not here, so. Zach. You might want to run it down real quick. So this one is if anybody has questions on the table, you guys can pick this one up and share it at the table. So Lou, I don't know if you heard, when you guys talk, come up here to the podium and talk.
All right.
You're gonna talk behind. Watch the wires. This side, I'm gonna have them stand here. This side here, because you got the wire involved. Hey. So you guys come up and stand right here.
You're Lou? Okay. I don't know if you heard or not, but if someone asks you a question in the crowd, they have a microphone. Repeat the question back to them. Please be up. Good day, down wishes. My wife says, I never know what's going to come out of his mouth. I don't either. All the time.
All right, everybody, let's start getting a seat. Y'all come away from that bar now. What do I do? I don't see a deal here.
Anthony.
Stand deal right here. It's already started. You just have to click it on each slide with the arrow. I know Coleman was looking to see if they did everything.
Remember when you guys go up there, because it's videoing it?
Everybody, can I have your attention? Hey, everyone. If you're at the bar area, please grab your drink and come on and sit down. Paul.
All right, guys, we got chairs over here. Let's quit the networking and come and watch this panel event.
Bar's closed. Come and sit down, please. All right, everyone, we're about to start. We got everybody over there? All right, Bobby, kick it off. Bobby.
Welcome. Hello. Welcome, everybody, to our event, the panel event for Hurricane. This is the one-year anniversary of Hurricane Ian. A lot of things are going on here. We're going to have a lot of information. We did not put together a panel of people that know what they're talking about Hurricane Ian. I've got experts here, people that are esteemed, high in the evolution of Hurricane Ian claims, repairs, et cetera, et cetera. So you have an opportunity to sit among experts. And there's a lot of experts in this room that I see that we're very impressed with. We appreciate everybody coming out to our event. So as we all find a seat and quit talking, we're going to start our panel event. So we're just going to jump right into it, make it easy. As you can tell, I'm a professional master of ceremonies. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But I'll tell you one thing, we're going to have some fun. Yep.
Everybody, if you need some chairs,
A little closer.
the other side.
All right, we're going to start our panel down at this end. We got some chairs over here, guys. We got about a half dozen chairs over here. If y'all want to make your way over, we're doing this. So thank you for everybody for coming. We're going to start our panel down at this end. They're going to come up front and we're going to talk. We have Lansing Building Supply. We also have Steve from Simonton Windows, and we have Ryan from James Hardy Siding. These guys all have their product at Lansing, of course. They're going to take a couple minutes to express their business. Their credentials are, beyond reproach. These guys are professional in the industries of the product. So, guys, take it away. Here you go.
Thanks, sir. Hope everybody's here having fun. Hope everybody got to socialize a little bit out there, get to build everybody's business up. I'm Jack. I am a Windows specialist at Lansing Building Products. We're right down the road, right off of Ortiz. We specialize in everything gutter line down. So gutters, soffit. We do windows. We do siding. We also do pool cages, decking, patio. I'm here with two of my partners today. This is Ryan with James Hardy. We are going to start stocking the James Hardy at our building. So if you guys do decide to start using James Hardy, we are going to be the location to get it. We will have the Color Plus selection. So you are going to be able to service any customers, especially out on the islands that are looking for this colored siding. And I'm also here with Steve with Simonton Windows, and he's going to be able to talk to you guys about the products that they offer and what we offer through them. Right?
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I promise I'll be brief. My name is Ryan Riccio. I am the local rep with James Hardy. Thanks for the intro, Jack. For those of you that aren't familiar with our products, so we are the manufacturers of fiber cement siding. It's basically a siding product made to look like vinyl or wood. Performs really well, especially in a post-hurricane world. We meet Miami-Dade code approvals upwards of 200 miles an hour on a lot of our siding, soffit, and fascia products. So obviously for a lot of your clients, that's important because we're replacing a lot of the stuff that didn't necessarily meet some of those codes. For those of you guys who want to get with us afterwards, have questions, be happy to talk to you. But thanks for coming out.
Hi, I'm Steve with Simonton Windows. I manage the west coast of Florida for Simonton. We are part of Cornerstone Building Brands, which is the North America's largest manufacturer of building products. Okay, we have factories throughout the United States. We have been in business since 1946, manufacturing windows. Lansing is one of our largest distributors across the United States. We have all your hurricane impact windows, impact doors, and generally everything that you will need design pressure-wise and structurally-wise to service this market. Our main priority and our service proposition has always been that we build a quality window, we deliver it on time, and a complete order. Now, the past 2 years, we were in the weeds, but we are definitely back to where we were before. We can produce non-impact windows in 2 weeks and impact windows in 3 weeks, and those are complete, full orders on time. So that's what we do, and that's our service proposition. And thanks for having us here.
Does anyone have any questions for us? Yes, sir.
So full impact windows you have in 3-week delivery. I mean, we're getting 6, 8. Actually, we've had a couple custom windows that we've been quoted that were 9 months out.
Everything we do, we consider custom size. We're not, we are Simonton. We have other divisions in our group, which is a builder grade window. But what Simonton does is typically your replacement market and the remodeling market, which is exactly what you need on here. So we will deliver windows to your exact specifications to the 1/8 of an inch, width and height, in 3. We manufacture them in 3 weeks. We ship them down from West Virginia. That could be another week or so. So we have a little bit of lead time in there. But we are manufacturing hurricane impact resistant windows in 3 weeks. That is correct.
Any other questions?
Hey, questions for Hardy rep. So a lot of people know down here in Florida there was a lot of damage from Hardy board and vinyl siding. How are you guys handling that, and what's your Hardy?
I'm sorry, was the last part of that around time frames?
What's your time frames on the Hardy board getting delivered?
Yep, great question. So we manufacture a couple different ways. We obviously have partners. Lansing is one of our greatest partners across the country. So these guys are going to start stocking a lot of our products on ground. So you'll be able to come to a Lansing branch and have the majority of what you need, whether it's 7 1/4 lap siding, 12-inch, 16-inch, 24-inch vented, non-vented soffit, fascia, trim, things like that. For anything that these guys don't have, we have 3 distributors in the state of Florida that they can pull from. They can often get material within, I'd say, 3 to 4 days. Obviously, in a post-hurricane world, we've seen the Hardy business explode in this area. Folks are looking to alternatives where they're not going to have to replace it, next time we have a major hurricane. Those of you that lived in Florida know that it's not if, it's when another hurricane's going to come. So folks are making the investment, spending a little bit of extra money in the Hardy product line to protect their investment and their home. So,
Another question I have for you is, with the Hardy board, what is the win rating versus vinyl siding?
So I wouldn't be able to speak to vinyl as well because I don't know the ins and outs of that. But as I mentioned, we do have full Miami-Dade NOA approvals, which is the highest approval you can get. Here in Collier, Lee, and Charlotte County, we are actually mandated under what's called the Florida Product Approvals, so FPAs, similar to the NOAs. Our lap siding can meet upwards of 220 miles an hour. Now, it's obviously going to depend what type of nail you're using, what type of spacing you guys are doing, but we do have that capability to get up to, like I said, 220 plus. Most of our common sizes, fasteners, is somewhere in that 180 to 190 range, but well in excess of a lot of our competitors and things that we've seen that just blew off houses, from 30, 40 years ago.
And then, Paul, I also want to say, yes, we're getting ready to stock the Color Select. We do stock primed now. So if you have a customer who's wanting it painted, you want to paint it, you have that job, we do stock the prime in the building right now.
Just to take that one step further, guys, so if I try to be the expert on some of the Florida product approvals and fasteners and things like that, so if you guys are in the Hardy business and you have specific questions or you're getting questions from your customers and want to get into Hardy, that's where we can be a resource and do some of that homework for you. So if you want to know what kind of things we can meet, take me to the side, and like I said, we can help you out with that.
Yes.
What's the new development for Hardy this year?
So the question was the new development for Hardy?
Yeah, what are some new developments?
Great question. So we actually have a new product line. So Hardy has been pretty synonymous over the years with wood look. So if you're doing a coastal, Keys, modern farmhouse, we had a solution for you. Those of you that live in Florida know that we're about a 90 to 95% stucco market. So our latest product innovation is what's called the Hardy Architectural Panel. So what we did is we actually took 2 of the most common Florida stucco looks, fine sand and mounded sand. Now have a 4x8, 4x10, and 4x12 panel that can mimic those looks. The benefits to the homeowner or to the contractor would be it's not going to crack like stucco, and you're going to get the same 30-year % warranty that Hardy is known for, whereas stucco comes with no warranty. So, great question. Yes, sir?
We had a lot of damage to pool cages and things like that, so what's the turnaround for Lansing when it comes to from quote to installment in some of those projects?
We stock the beams and everything for a pool cage in the building. So crews come in, they place their order, they'll walk out with the beams same day. If it's something that does need to be ordered, we're looking at about 4 weeks.
One last question for Simonton. So Simonton, just so everyone knows, does windows. What's the time frame on impact windows with Simonton?
Well, the impact windows we manufacture in 3 weeks. Impact doors we can manufacture in 4 weeks. We can make bypass, bipart, pockets up to a 30-foot by 10-foot tall door in any size you want, any configuration. We have 3-foot, 4-foot, and 5-foot panels. So impact windows, manufactured in 3 weeks, another week to get down to Florida. impact doors, manufactured in 4 weeks, another few days to get down to Florida.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate that. There's a lot of questions we can ask all these individuals. We're just going to whet your taste buds to this. You really need to go grab these guys' cards at the end of the show. If you have a question, that's a great time to offer it, but you need to have that business card. You may not have a job today, but 3 months from now, you do. You got the right guys. And you heard what they said up here. And all of our panelists live by integrity. That's the only reason we let them on our panel. It's because they have to have integrity. So what they say has got to hold true. So we appreciate you guys so much. Grab their cards, have a conversation with them before they leave out of the building. Put my cheaters on here. All right. You guys want to speak together, right? All right. So we got the next two panelists. We have 5 County Insurance. We got Brian here. He's a Florida native. Played ball in college. Then we also have Lou, who is a safety consultant with Builders Mutual. He's got 30 years of experience. He's got OSHA and DOT and CARES. The guy knows what he's talking about. How about that? All right? All of our people have credentials, but I'm going to cut to the chase. This is Brian and Lou.
I hope everyone's having a good time, and I want to thank Paul for putting this event together. This event started probably about, 4 or 5 months ago, and we've grown tremendously. Started at a small panel just for homeowners, and now we've grown to talking to contractors and stuff. And I want to give a huge round of applause for Paul for putting this together. It takes a lot to put this together, and I appreciate you very much. I just want to start for a fun fact today, just because insurance gets a little boring. I work in it, so does Lou, and I do understand the physicality it takes on the mind. So fun fact for the day is sports betting is actually legal in Florida starting today. I hope everybody knows that. I got a nice 3-leg parlay, so, go Lions. Hoorah, Detroit. No, but on the serious note, guys, so everybody knows what happened after Ian. It took a really hard take on the insurance market. So from my background, I specialize in commercial insurance, and I can tell you right now, the increase in property and auto markets have been drastic. We're seeing about 25 to 37% increases. We've seen markets like Allstate, commercial, they're just leaving the market in Florida in general, and a lot of property markets as well are leaving the market. So how do we offset these risks? How do we offset the premium increases, and what's the advantage of doing that? Or how do we do that? And I can tell you right now, it's the workers' comp insurance market right now. All right, this year coming up, the preliminaries right now for the rates are actually going down by 30%. Now, what does that mean? For a roofing contractor, I don't know who's a roofing contractor in this panel right here, but I can tell you that the current code and the rate for a roofing contractor is currently right now sitting at $10.54. So that equates to, if you have about $150,000 in payroll for a roofing contractor, you're looking at about $15,000 in premium for a roofing premium for workers' comp. All right. So next year it actually is dropping. It's dropping to an $8.42 rate. So that's going to drastically decrease your premium for workers' comp, and that's going to be a huge offset in the market from the increases in property and also auto. So a lot of people with workers' comp, a lot of roofing contractors, remediation workers, window installers, general contractors, any contractors in the world, they always start with a leasing company and or payroll like ADP. Now, where I come into play and how I can help you save money is if you're with leasing, they're not regulated by the state. Now, with the state, we always have the regulated rates, which is what I just told you for the roofing code. That comes out every single year, and they keep decreasing every single year. So with non-regulated like leasing, they're throwing out $13 rates. They're throwing out rates because it's not regulated. And I come in and I sit with the business owners and I tell them, like, hey, listen, you're paying a $13 rate right now. The standard rate is $10. That's huge savings depending on how much you're paying in payroll. And with workers' comp, it's all about savings, and I always want to help the business owner as much as I can. So I just want to give it to Lou right here. He is one of my carriers at Builders Mutual. I brought him along as a guest speaker to talk about how he can also save you even more money in regards to workers' comp with safety control. So take it away, Lou.
Thank you, Brian. I'm going to first start by asking, who knows who is Builders Mutual? I'd be surprised if a lot of you did. But Builders Mutual is an business insurance company who specifically writes business insurance for contractors. That is our bread and butter. That is our specialty. That is all we do, and we love writing business insurance for contractors. That's all of you right here. Okay. We write insurance from Maryland down here to Florida. Here in Florida, there are 4 safety consultants like myself here in Florida. I tell you that because our company is not going anywhere. Our company has the most safety consultants that I know of in the industry. So again, I can emphasize that we're not going anywhere. We're here to stay. We're here to work with our clients, and we are a carrier that works through agents like Brian and 5 County. So if you're looking to partner up with us, contact Brian. Who are we? We're a type of company that likes partnering up with all of you. And when I say that, it's because one of the things that we like doing, specifically what I like doing, is working with you directly to be able to say, if your insurance program gets better, you're in control of the premium that's going to be charged. I used to be a safety manager, and one of the things that I used to ask the carrier is, how do you view me? How do you see me? Okay? I would have them tell me, and I would say, wait a minute, but who we are is this. And it's better to be in that position, because in that position, you're in control of the credits you're going to get. Not only are the rates going down, like Brian said, but there's credits that are given in a program. You want to take advantage of those things. So from a safety standpoint, there are 4 areas that OSHA comes knocking on your door and looks at you and says, I want to see you, I want to talk to you, I want to review, and I'll cover those 4 areas in a minute. So when a safety consultant from an insurance carrier comes in to do a review or an assessment of you, it's these 4 areas as well. 1, it's your written program, plain and simple. What do you have in place, and what are you managing to? 2, how are you managing your work site? Do you have control of that work site? How are you setting up, and how you're following through to completion? 3, how are you managing your employees so that way they are actively engaged in safety? Rules, for example. Do they understand those things? That's an example that I can give you. And then there's safety training. There's 3 elements to safety training. 1 is new hire. We already know that all of you are struggling to hire qualified employees. You're struggling, we know that. A sad statistic in the insurance industry is that 67% of new hires defined as individuals 1 year or less with your company, is likely to get hurt in that first year. What are you doing? Companies are hiring somebody and putting them right to work without any training. So what you're doing is you're hiring somebody, and what you're doing is you're letting all that bad baggage from previous employers come into your culture. You don't want that. The second part to training is, what's your reminders, your toolbox, your ongoing training, those kind of things. And then the third part is the specialty training. we offer, as part of partnering with us, an OSHA 10 or an OSHA 30 hour training class for free. We do that. We'll coordinate that with you. So, but what does that mean to do an OSHA 10 or OSHA 30? That's the minimum. OSHA expectation is, here's the standards, this is the minimum. When you partner up with us, I want to elevate your program to another level to have control of your program and what you can convey to the insurance company. That's my basic approach from that perspective. I'm going to leave you with this because I also mentioned the challenges you have to hire qualified employees. Think about this. What is the average age of your hourly workers? Your hourly workers. Then the next question is, what is the average age of school achieved by those hourly workers? There's a huge discrepancy right there. So now, my next question to you is, your supervisors or your foremen, were they ever trained how to be teachers, coaches? And they're the individuals that are training your hourly workers. So there's a disconnect right there. What I try to do is find a way to put a program together for you to help in that process and training to minimize the exposure, engage the employees, thus reducing the chances of having accidents. That's my ultimate goal, because when that happens, the success is not mine. The success is yours. You don't have injured employees. So when you don't have injured employees, what happens? They're working. They're productive. You don't have to deal with trying to hire a new person. And you already know how much that takes. That's a lot of time. Put that time aside, keep them working, no accidents. That's your success. Any questions?
What's the answer to the question? What's the average age of the hourly employee?
What I'm hearing from individuals, or I'm sorry, businesses, is the average age of employees hired out there is about 28 years. All right? The average age of school achieved is 2nd grade. How old are you in 2nd grade? 7, 8 years. Using simple math, 28 minus 8, 20 years since they've been in school. At 8 years of age, do you think they're students? No. So when you have a meeting, an all-employee meeting, and you bring them all down, bring them all in and sit down and talk, do you think you're getting your money's worth? Absolutely not. Unless you can verify and validate. And that is, go to the work site, assess, and make sure that they're doing their job safely. Another question.
So what percentage do you think use harnesses for roofers?
What percentage, that's a great question. What percentage do roofers use harnesses? And that's a great question, but that's not the right question to ask, all right? The right question to ask, all right, and then I'll answer your question first, is what percentage are roofers using fall protection? And that is harnesses, anchors, and a life rope, okay? So what percentage are they using harnesses? I'm going to guess that it's about 60%. But what percentages are they properly managing fall protection? 2% or less. Right? So the answer and the comments that I get from employees is, oh, it's hard to manage this. It's hard to manage. But you know what I say to them? What's harder, hitting the ground or wearing this? Hitting the ground. All right? But there's different ways and techniques that I go through training to make sure that employees understand. Because remember, it's been since 2nd grade that they've been in school, and it's hard to receive the information. So, thank you for the questions. Good job.
Hey, real quick, everybody. So Lou did my company's and all of our guys' OSHA 10 class, and that was with Brian's help. A raise of hand, how many contractors are in here? How many contractors have a relationship with their agent and their insurance company that will come out, do a safety training on their job, and offer to give them OSHA 10 or OSHA 30 training for free? Raise a hand. So what I would tell you guys, everybody on this panel, why I put these together, I work with all these gentlemen and ladies. I know what they bring. They're all experts, and I want to bring value to all of you guys. And the value is you guys need to talk to Brian, and you need to talk to Lou. And when you have a job, they'll come out and look at that job. And that's what true partners do in this industry. We partner together, and we help one another. So please give those guys both a round of applause and talk to them after.
You know, they just said a whole lot. There's some meat and taters right there, boys. You need to sit down and talk with these guys. There's a whole lot that you can get. They did a shotgun blast of what they do here. So, again, grab their business cards, have that conversation, go to their office and talk and find out exactly what they're doing. Because there's a lot to unpack, and it helps your business. I mean, they're free seminar. It's great. It's great. All right, here we go. We're just moving down the road. Our next guest is the beautiful Kim. Now, she's kind of shy. She has a bad smile. But you know what? She's of my tribe. All right. So, Kim, where did your... No, it's not you. It's not you. I am really, really organized here. There we go. It's a good thing I got broad shoulders. That ain't right. Just so y'all know, Paul said he went to second grade. All right, so Kim is with MIS, a Salas O'Brien company. It's one of the largest envelope engineering companies in the United States. She is a window expert. She knows the good stuff. Oh my God, these accreditations here. Here we go. MIS has a FGI, AA, MA, accredited lab test agency in Daytona Beach. We test windows. She also has the Fenestrations Master. Come on, guys, this is Kim.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much, Paul, for putting this together, and I hope everybody's having a great time. So my name is Kim, and I'm with Moisture Intrusion Solutions, Salas O'Brien Company. We just integrated. Salas O'Brien is the largest engineering firm in the United States. Moisture Intrusion Solutions are window experts. So what we do is prevent window water from going into buildings, and we're window experts. So we do have, I don't need the slides. Maybe I do. So when it comes to what we do after the hurricane, there's two phases to what we do. After the hurricane, we have been involved in every hurricane of testing windows to win insurance claims for the clients, where the insurance companies pay for their windows. They pay for their sliding glass doors. What people don't realize is windows put the claim over the top. Nobody thinks about windows, right? You go after a hurricane, the roof damage, but who looks at windows? And they don't. And what happens is these insurance companies are coming in and they're going, oh no, that was pre-existing. No, it wasn't, because depending upon how the wind goes, the eye of the storm, right? That yada, yada, list goes on. What happens? The window leaks. So my job is to do an observation. I then hand it over to the forensic team. Give a proposal. You want to go forward. So what Bobby was saying is, so the FGIA is the Fenestration Alliance Industry Glazing Company, okay? So what that is the window masters of the world. So they set all the guidelines for how it's to be tested, how it's to be installed. There's 166 masters in the world. We have 4 on our payroll. That is what separates us. What people don't also realize is an engineer is not going to hold water, but I, because of the testing and all the forensics. So when it comes to hurricane, we do window testing all over the United States. If there's a hurricane in Louisiana and we're called out, we're in Louisiana. Flip it around. Right now, what's happening, especially in the state of Florida, is these insurance companies are realizing that windows should be tested. If you hold the window the wrong way and then you install it, that window can leak. A window can get damaged in transportation. Windows are windows, right? So what's happening is they want testing done. So when the windows are installed, that's the other part of what we do. We test those windows to make sure that they were installed properly. What's a positive? Something happens down the road, you have documentation that, hey, those windows passed. Say you put windows in a building, 3 years later, we get another major hurricane, and you have window problem, you have documentation that those windows were fine. So now what happens? Insurance companies have to honor the claim. So we have been around a long time. We have amazing technicians of forensics. Our reports are 500 pages. And this is what I alluded to, but some people go, I don't like that team. All right, pick a team. But you take whatever team you want. We are like the 1972 Dolphins. We are undefeated. And that is what separates us in a courtroom, because we got the masters. Any questions, guys? I could keep talking, but I know I got short time. And I'm trying not to talk my hands, because Italians, we use our hands all the time. Yes?
What would you do if the windows were damaged with the seals? Could you ever repair them? Is there any way to do that, or is it always replaced?
Okay, so I'm being asked if the seals, there was a problem with the seals, could you be replaced? So if we're talking after a hurricane, so we're talking new install? Yeah. Okay, let's go new install. So we have the new install, and we come out, let's say you hire our team to come out and test. And when they test, that they see that there's a problem with the window, the way it was installed. So what happens is now that window has to be either they have to put a new window in, but they have to make good on it. Because remember something. Once the windows are installed and you're spending all kinds of money, like I could tell you I was at a property, all right? So we provide the documentation so that if there's any problems, all our testing is forensic testing. It's scientific testing. That's the difference. So it will tell you if the window was installed properly to specification. The FGIA, so the Glazing Association, Window Association, they have made requirements that are robust for testing. And now, when these windows are being put in, everybody's pointing the finger if the windows leaked. I know of 7 projects in litigation now that they're having trouble with the windows, but Jack's pointing the finger at Jim, and this one's doing this. And so now the insurance companies, too, they're recognizing, look, you're putting these windows in, you're spending all this money, you want to make sure they're installed properly. That's your documentation. That's like your golden ticket to hold on to. It's like finally crossing your T's on your project, right? Anybody here, if you're a roofer, general contractor, whatever you are, you stamp your name on your projects, right? And everything you do. So you want to make sure, if you're going to do it, take it right down to where it has to go and make it right. And we also have a testing lab in Daytona Beach. So we test windows for Pella, for Anderson, and we do that as well. Anybody else?
Kim.
Oh, it has to be accredited lab. So that's important. It must be an accredited lab to hold water. So you can't take Mr. Bag of Donuts. It doesn't work.
Real quick, does everyone know the two hurricanes and mics are lovely, Irma and Ian, and if you had your property during Charlie, a lot of these properties have gone through 3 hurricanes in the last 19 years. So Kim, can you explain to everybody what the wind pressures have done to most of these windows if somebody lives in a property from 2004 on or 2016 on, what you're looking for on these windows? And I'm wondering if everybody knows that a lot of these windows from Marco Island all the way up to the Venice Beach area are compromised.
So a lot of them are. We've done a lot in Captiva, Sanibel, all across Florida. So when you test windows, you have to test against wind. They're not going to, insurance companies don't want to hear about water. They don't. So what you do is you test against a hurricane condition. So you test against, let's say, 100-mile-an-hour winds. You're testing now. What they do is they use water. So they do that test. Now, when they do that pressure test, normally the window has, does this thing? Okay. Normally, if a window, if it's broken, and what I mean by that is when I look at a window, I look for rattling. That means that the seal, okay? When you've got the rattle, that argon gas, right, that you don't have anything. So then you look for your ingested gaskets. You can get a sash rack, a rack that's sash, that it can start from left and go down like that. So we're testing to see if from the amount of wind, the hurricane condition, did the water come in and break any of the seal and cause damage to the window. So when they get the report show all the testing that's done, the PSIs that are used, all the visuals, they have video, they have documentation. In the end, the report's about 500 pages. Yes. We do not, okay, so as far as repairs goes, we test on an insurance end. Let's go on the hurricane side. On the insurance end, what we do is we work with lawyers, public adjusters for their clients who are having problems with the insurance company getting their windows replaced and getting their sliding glass doors replaced. We also do roof testing after a hurricane. If someone can't get their roof, we have a test that can show exactly. And then, so what we do, that's right, on the insurance end is we say, okay, we went in, we did all the testing, we're an accredited lab, it stands up. If the insurance company says, you know what, we don't want to pay for these windows, this is crazy. This is where our 4 masters come into play, because they're going to go in court and they're going to kick their butt, and the client is going to get their windows, and they will get their sliding glass doors. That's a known fact. I stand behind it. The company is amazing. On the other end of it, on new construction side, you know, GCs, and we're finding a lot of GCs are doing this now because they don't want the finger pointed at them. You know, they're doing these projects. They want to make sure that who their window installer is, they installed them properly. So they want that documentation.
So real quick, anybody got any questions?
Yeah, we do the door testing. Yes, we do that as well. Yes, sir. Yes, everything goes depending upon if it's insurance. You know, there's always, it's a rule, it's 5%. The insurance companies in a hurricane situation, a storm situation, 5% is always acceptable by the insurance companies for windows, for sliding glass doors. If it's brand new construction, you know, we go in, I see what's involved. Is it storefronts? Are they curtain walls? And then I give price. So both vary in price, but we do both commercial and residential. Yes, sir.
You sound pretty confident about them going, your experts going into court.
Yes.
What percentage would you say that they lose?
We don't.
That's
Isn't that a nice percentage? I like that percentage myself. The question was, I'm sorry, I should have repeated it. The question was, what is the percentage of us losing in court? None. And that is the difference. What people don't understand, and I've been in construction 26 years. I did stucco. I worked for Drive It for a long time. So I know about all that hogwash. But what they do is they'll bring in an engineer. A threshold engineer, an engineer is not in my wheelhouse. Even though Sal O'Brien, engineers are good. I use them for flood testing. When I do elevated swimming pools, I have an engineer right there. Absolutely. But when we're talking windows and we're talking testing, you want an accredited lab and you want anyone else? We're done, right? So you know, it's really important, guys, and young ladies. I say this all the time. Being in the business a long time and dealing with GCs, applicators, and so forth. Make sure your T's are crossed. Make sure your I's are dotted. You know, it takes a second, and if you have any questions, please come and see me. I'm more than happy to help anyone out. So, enjoy the night.
I heard it said like this: when they do the testing, they are the voice for the building. The building has no voice unless someone comes in and tests it, and they don't say whether the building's bad or good. The building tells them if it's bad or good. So they don't make up things and try to invent something. The building tells them what's going on.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
Hey, just to add to what she was talking about in regards, so I mean, as an insurance agent, I mean, I'm on the case when there are claims and stuff, especially on Ian. There's a lot of claims that I had on Ian, and I can tell you that a lot of these adjusters that are coming out, they're looking at the roof, they're taking pictures of the roof, they're taking measurements of the square footage of the damage. They're not looking at windows, they're not looking at specific things. I've seen it, I work in it, I know what's happening. I fight with actual carriers with this in regards to it. I've seen payouts where they come in at, I was working on one property, and they came in, and the damage was over $1 million, and the first settlement was $400,000. And the insurer looked at me, he's like, this is ridiculous. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I have to spend another $600,000 on my building that I don't have. And I ended up fighting for them, and I brought out the adjuster again, and I started pinpointing things out, saying like, oh, this is damage, take pictures of this. This is damage, take pictures of this. Look at these windows. Like, what are we doing here? Like, the first assessment is not the real assessment. So I highly recommend that as an owner of a property and or owner of a business property, I highly recommend you be with that adjuster and you pinpoint every single little thing that you see that is damaged, because it will really help out a claim to make sure it gets paid out. So you don't have to take it to court, because court sucks.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. All right, so we're halfway through our panel. Everybody enjoying this so far? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to do a little joke here. It's a little one. I need you to laugh. It's my ego, et cetera, please. All right, you ready? What's purple and smiles a lot? A happy grape. Man, y'all talk. Not a Barney, a happy grape. Listen, Paul told me I went through second grade, so I got stuck there. All right. So, go to the other side of the table here. We got Anthony Massimino with Remediation 911. I broke bread with this man. This is a good guy. He's wrote a book here on who he does, but he's been a dynamic entrepreneur. He has a passion for helping others. He's been a public adjuster. He opened up Remediation 911 in 2011. He works with his wife, his kids, It's a family business. They do it right, white glove type treatment. I can go on, but we're going to have Anthony Massimino talk. He's very articulate. He'll tell you the story of what Remediation 911 is all about. Anthony.
I think anything I say from this point forward is going to be better than that joke, Bobby. And as far as I came here tonight to talk about Remediation 911, but after that GOP disaster last night, I think I'm here to run for the GOP presidential election. I mean, that was bad. So, anyways, Anthony Massimino with Remediation 911. We're a family-owned business. We're celebrating in November a decade in business. I'm a public adjuster in the state of Florida still, but I transitioned from public adjusting into remediation. We're building contractors, we're mold remediators, mold assessors, and also HVAC contractors. So emergency services, it's pretty simple. It's water extraction, mold remediation, and fire restoration. We're building contractors like anybody else in the state that's building. But really, as I'm sitting up here, I always wing this, and I'm sitting here and I'm listening to this panel, and I'm not going to take up a lot of time, but if you're looking for perfection when it comes to restoration and remediation, you want to look to Remediation 911. And I'm going to tell you why, all right? Because up here right now, we have a distributing and manufacturing company that we work with directly. I have all my insurance through Brian. Kim and I are just starting to establish a relationship. ClaimPays is cutting edge in respect to helping the insurance industry help with all the changes that are happening here right now and funding contractors and helping us stay liquid through these storms. Renegade Roofing and Storm Consultants, guys are top notch. When it comes to the industry, Paul has done it all. The guy on the end, Harvey Cohen, if you don't know who he is, I'm just letting you right now know that he is a pioneer. He is a true champion for law when it comes to insurance claims. This guy has wrote the book on how to fight insurance companies. But that's not it. It's just not these people up here. Stephen Harmon, Mr. Harmon, would you raise your hand, please? All right, Mr. Harmon is a level 5 Xactimate trainer, one of 55 in the country, in the world, that actually is a trainer, okay? All of my staff is trained by Mr. Harmon. That makes a big deal for us. Best Storm Consultants, that's a company that we do business with that we're very excited to align ourselves with. Going through the group, I'm just looking for different people. Oh, yeah, Keel Construction. This guy's one of the best contractors in Southwest Florida. If you're looking for high-end work, that's who you need to go to. So when you end up with Remediation 911, when you find your way to Remediation 911, it's not just Remediation 911. It's the coalition of all of the partners that I've aligned myself with to help your clients throughout this whole process and really set ourselves apart from everybody else in the industry. I mean, I've got a public adjuster that just came down that I just was introduced to. It called me up from Tampa to come here. All of these people are who help make Remediation 911 number one, I believe, in the industry. And I know I can't leave Shane out as well. This guy's a buildings forensic guy. He's one of the best guys in the industry. His reports are incredible, and he's a great referral source for Remediation 911. So just want to let you know that I'm not going to take a lot of time. We dry structures. We remove mold from structures. We do fire restoration. We build things. We're Class A HVAC contractors. We do it all from the beginning to the end, but I couldn't be as successful as I am in my company without everybody here. And I want to give a round of applause to everybody that's here that I don't know, because it's Thursday night, it's 8:30 at night. You're hearing a lot of people talk about a lot of things. You're starting to glaze over. And the fact is you're winners because you're here. So I want to align myself with all of you that are here that I don't know, because the fact is you have to be cut from the same cloth as my company, okay? So moving forward, I'd love to meet you before you leave here. Again, Anthony Massimino, Remediation 911, guys. Thank you for being here. Yeah, this guy up front raised our average age big time to average age.
Know him a little bit. His wife Kathy's here. These people are the bomb diggity, the real deal. So get a chance to talk to them. All right, we got ClaimPay as our next vendor that's on our panel. We got Al Dodd. The guy's got credentials. All right, I'll just say it. You're badass. All right. He's been in business for many, many years, done over 10,000 roofs. He's been a public adjuster. He knows the ins and outs of the money, the financial part of this. The guy's got it going on. Next to him is Paul Soberon. He's the CFO. The guy is a walking genius. You know, he's the smartest cat around. Get a chance, come shake his hand again. These guys are going to talk about their business, about ClaimPay and what they do and how they do it. So if we can get you guys to come up here and take a few minutes to talk about ClaimPay. Money, money, money.
Appreciate that, Bobby, and thanks everybody for being here. Given it's the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Ian, I don't have as good of news that bedding is allowed now in the state of Florida, but just going to provide some sobering statistics just to remind people of the good work that they're doing here in restoring this community. So just keep in mind that on the residential side, over 700,000 claims were filed as a result of Hurricane Ian. 200,000 of them were closed without payments. That's 2/7, 30% without payments. And in addition to that, there's only 20,000 people that haven't received payments that are continuing to fight. That's 10% out of the people that haven't gotten paid. So just think of that when you're considering the opportunities to service your community. Secondly, on the commercial side, incidentally, the statistics are pretty close. 40% of commercial claims are unpaid. But this one is what I thought was a little interesting. There's a higher percentage of commercial claims that are continuing to fight without payment. So there's 11,579 out of the 35,000 that are still fighting, and only 7,800 gave up. So it's hard to understand what the motivations are. But on the residential side, only 10% of people that have an open claim, or pardon me, that put in a claim that didn't receive payment continue to fight. Whereas on the commercial side, where they're treating as a business, 50% continue to fight. So with that said, I'm just going to hand this over to Al, who can do a very good job of introducing us.
Paul, I appreciate you putting this together for everybody. This room's filled with people who see opportunity, and we're winners. I've been in this business a long time. I was a contractor for many, many years. I put over 10,000 roofs on, chasing storms in multiple states. Worked as an independent adjuster for every carrier out there, learned their ins and outs. Public adjuster many years, multi-state. I decided to jump on this side of the fence to help fund the problem, and the problem is delay, defend, deny by the insurance companies. ClaimPay is 7 years old approximately. We have funded 120,000 claims to date. We average $4 million a week in funding at this time. It's not a complex process to get involved with us, but what ClaimPay does is we are an intermediary funding source for you during the claims process. So what would be your differentiator utilizing our services? You'd be able to go out, sign a contract, meet an adjuster, put an estimate together, build the job, we'll fund your estimate, and we'll wait for State Farm. We'll work with the attorneys, and we'll make sure you get your money. So we think that we shouldn't even be in business. This is a necessary evil. We're backed by $1 billion hedge fund, pension funds, fireman funds, teachers unions, things of that nature. It's good, solid money. Give us a call. Go to claimpay.net. Fill out 5 lines. Let one of us reach out to you, and let's see how we can help speed your cash flow and improve your odds in a major storm that you can make a difference to the community. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask? Yes, sir.
So it's comparable to that. We operate a little bit differently. We're not running personal credit. We're not doing loans. We're a company that invests on the front end of it. We do have a fee, obviously, and it's different programs in different states are available based on your needs, and we can get into that with you on an individual basis. And we are a company that comes in and funds you, and then it doesn't matter how long it takes. We're going to name as quick as possible.
Any other questions? So real quick, I just want to talk about claim pay. So I've been in this business 25 years. I started as a storm chaser, worked 12 different states in this country. I was an insurance adjuster, and I was a public adjuster and went back to contracting. I've seen this business since 1998 to 2023 go in the garbage can because of these insurance companies. And why I say that is before you could go, and I could go meet with an insurance adjuster. We'd agree on damage. He would get the estimate and sent back to the client within about 2 weeks, and within 3 to 4 weeks, that client would have a check, and we could start the work. Hurricane Irma, let's talk about Hurricane Irma real quick. 2017, Hurricane Irma. Almost same thing, but they started delaying things a little longer. This Hurricane Ian, I have never seen the bad faith from insurance companies that I have seen in my life. For us contractors to survive, we all used to be able to fund our own jobs. But when you're waiting a year and still haven't been paid, and I have over 50 jobs with attorneys, we have no other alternative other than to loan money. So claim pay is a huge, huge asset to a lot of us here. Yeah, is the fee higher? 100%. But they're going to wait on that money with you as a partner. So if you haven't talked to claim pay and you have some big jobs, commercial jobs, any jobs that you still are waiting and you haven't been paid and it's over 6 months and you need cash flow, you need to go talk to claim pay. And I know these guys very well, and I know the industry as well. So that's all I've got to say.
If you want to check us out and test us out before you go live, I'm sure every single one of y'all have underpaid files. Shoot us over your garbage and let's turn it into gold, and we'll show you what we can do.
Again, everybody on this panel I broke bread with. To me, that's important. We also got Rodrigo here, and Juan's here, Catherine's here. Great team with claim pay. Really great team that's on our panel. All right, we're moving on down the road here. Our next panelist, he always third grade. He always introduced me. This is Bobby, my partner, and I'm gonna say business partner, Paulie. But Paulie's been doing this a long time. He kind of gave you a short bio right there. But the man is a wealth of knowledge. The enthusiasm he has for this business, the passion he has, if you don't see it, your wood's wet. But listen to Paulie with a short introduction about what we do and how we do it, and he can do it like nobody else. And again, Paul put this together. A lot of kudos for putting this event together, Paul.
Thank you, Bobby. So I put these events together for all of you guys. The biggest thing is we need to work together. And again, as I was just saying, the insurance companies, how they've taken advantage of these property owners and us as business owners, we need to be a team. And the reason I put these up here is to educate everybody. These are all great people, Lansing Building Supply, Simonton Windows, Hardy. We use them. That's why they're here. I do not put anybody up on our panel that does not have integrity and does not align with our vision. And our vision is to help. And I say this at if anybody knows me in all the panel events that I've put on, the first and foremost thing I say is we care. And if you're here to help, the money will come. I'm not here to make money first. I'm here to help people. The money will come. We all come to make money to support our families and have a make a living, but you got to have a giver's heart. And if you don't have a giver's heart, it's never going to work. So I just want to say that every person on here I know, personally, I work personally with, and that's why I put these panels to bring them to you to help you guys because I trust them wholeheartedly. And they all know this. Me and Harvey actually were just talking earlier with our other company, Storm Consultants, is I put vendors together on the Storm Consultants. But if you have a lower rating than a 4.5 on your Google and you have a poor reviews on your Better Business Bureau, I can't put you on. Just sorry, I can't do it because I have to take care of you guys. You guys are our business partners and our clients, and that's what I want to make sure. So that's why I put these together for you guys. So I want to thank, first off, Simonton Windows, James Hardy and Lansing for being a part of this and sponsoring the event and seeing the vision. Same thing with Lou. You know, like I said earlier, Lou did my company's OSHA 10 class. I talked to Lou and I said, hey, I love what you're doing. I've been in this business 25 years, and I've never had our insurance company come to us and say, hey, you got a job going, we'll come out and take a look at that job and give you a safety plan so you know how to go forward with that. Because a lot of guys don't know how to do that. So his company's willing to do that. He's also willing to come there and do your OSHA 10 and your OSHA 30 for all your people. Again, I don't know any insurance company that just tells you they're going to do that. Or your agents like Brian that are going to call you and say, hey, I'm going to try to save you guys money. Kim, you know, testing. Everybody here, if you're in the Florida area and you have homeowners and property owners and commercial buildings, you're going to need testing at some point. And the testing goes hand in hand. You know, the testing is going to be talking to Simonton Windows, say, because of installation. So then you got to talk to Kim to have it looked at. Then you're going to Harvey. Harvey needs that report to help get you guys paid. So there's a trend here. Same thing with Anthony. We use Anthony. There's a water loss. We call Anthony. Anthony comes out and explains things. You know, the biggest thing till this year, a lot of people did not know about restoration, was Category 3 water. I just had this conversation today at church. We were at a church function for awards given, and I was talking to them about, I went to a church here, a very large church here in Fort Myers after the hurricane, and went to volunteer. Well, they were giving PPE out, but when we got to the house, I walked into this lady's house, and all of a sudden we're all getting sick. Well, they had 8 feet of water in her house. Sat there for 2 weeks in all the debris on the sides of the roads. You've got to be careful, and I was teaching this to the church today, and we're partnering with the church for an initiative to help churches all through Florida when the next hurricane comes out. Because, again, that's what I want to do. I want to help and educate. And we're going to put a safety video for them together in the correct PPE. But as Anthony will tell you, and any restoration company in here knows, that if you get cut by a nail or something sharp, there's flesh-eating bacteria. After Hurricane Ian, there was 28 cases of flesh-eating bacteria that people did not know in 2 weeks' time. Me, I'm in this house, and the floorboards are falling in because the subfloor was rotted because it had all that water that had sit in there. This poor lady at this house wanted to save everything. I had to get everybody out of there within 5 minutes and tell everybody, nope, we got to get out of there. Every one of us got sick for about an hour and a half after from being in that house that long. We went back to the church and explained to the church what happened, and unfortunately they wanted no part of it because there was a liability factor, which we didn't care, but we wanted to educate them. So where I'm going with that is after a storm, you need to call your professionals. Same thing for contractors with claim pay. I know these gentlemen very well. They've been with us since our second panel event that I've had. So they've been with us for a long time as partners with us. And I believe in their product, and I believe in their heart, how they try to help people and keep the flow going. And then Harvey Cohen down here. He's another great partner that I bring to this. Harvey Cohen, if everyone doesn't know, is one of the people that has pioneered the insurance claim industry, helping clients get paid by the insurance company. So I don't know if a lot of people know that about Harvey. But Harvey has 70 attorneys. He's a large attorney firm. I have a personal relationship with Harvey. So I just don't bring somebody that's a name. And everyone sees Harvey stuff around because he's out there to support. But I just don't bring him here because he's a name. We have a personal relationship. I can pick up my phone and call Harvey at any time, and he'll answer the phone. So I just want to put that out there for you guys with, Storm Consultants. When we do consulting, we consult and bring you guys the experts. Steve Harmon, he taught my son how to write exact. So if anybody needs help with exact, I recommend Steve Harmon. Chris and Michael over there, public adjusters. We work it well hand in hand with those guys as well. We're all partners. So anything that anybody here needs, we have an expert. I've been in the industry for a long time. I know people all across the country. You know, we've done hailstorms. I've got partners, other partners that are manufacturers like Simonton. I'm friends with IKO reps that I have good relationships. You know, ABC Supply. You know, so we have the people that if you guys need the help, we're here to help with storm consultants. You know, I have another friend here that's here, Jason Elmer. He's a roofing consultant. So I have the people that we bring around here. I have installers here that I work with and partners I work with. Shane does a lot of stuff with us. Larry does a lot of our siding work and a lot of other things. Steve, I know Steve, and he has a restoration company. So I can go on and on with the people that are in here that I know we try to bring to you guys. So if anybody ever needs help with their claim, Storm Consultants is here to help. We can help teach other people, if you don't know how to work a claim, how to do the claim correctly and honestly and take care of your clients. So if anyone has any questions about Storm Consultants, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about that and why we do what we do. Anyone have any questions?
So do we call you at the beginning, or what if you already have an attorney or a public adjuster? What should we call you?
Well, you hopefully wanted to call me at the beginning, but I have a lot of people that call me right now that have a public adjuster and they're stalled and they can't go anywhere. So I have to look at the claim and see what the public adjuster has done, and then I'll refer them to, if I need to, I'll either call that a public adjuster for that client and help them to see where they're at, or I'll have them call someone like Harvey and put them with there, and then Harvey will contact that public adjuster. That public adjuster still gets paid. He makes sure they get paid, but he, at the end of the day, he's going to make sure that claim gets paid, and he's going to make sure it gets paid correctly. And Harvey's going to use somebody like Kim to go do testing. So, you know, there's a lot of good and bad with that. One of the things I want to touch on real quick is, does everyone know that the law, today is 1 year anniversary of Hurricane Ian? So there's a big misconception out there, and I was talking to a public adjuster and a couple other people today about this. Do you know that with Hurricane Ian, your guys are grandfathered in for 2 years for your claim? So don't take this misconception that's running out there, and do not let the insurance company tell you if you call them to file a claim that you can't do it no more. Right now, though, after 1 year, you file a claim, you're going to need someone like myself, Harvey, public adjusters, to help you with your claim because they are not going to want to pay it. I can tell you a quick story on that aspect. I have a friend that's very well known in Southwest Florida. He called me up, said, hey, I had a roofer come over, look at my roof right after the storm. The roofer did not know, he's a retail roofer, so he's never done storms, so he didn't know what to look for. So he said, hey, I have a patio home. My home's connected to another home. He said, that house just got paid for by the insurance company, by an attorney, got him paid. Can you come and look again? Went and looked. Sure enough, found nail holes all over the place because the tiles had came out, the screws had backed out, and there's slippage all over. He calls the insurance company, and I will even name the insurance company because it's a disgrace. Bad faith. Tower Hill. Calls Tower Hill, says, hey, I've got a claim. And the first thing they said, because this just happened 2 weeks ago, why'd you take so long to file a claim? He goes right into it. I had somebody look. Then my neighbor got approved. I had another person that I know that's been in the business 25 years came look. He says, yes, I have damage. From there, the lady says, okay, well, we have preferred contractors. Would you like to use one of my preferred contractors? He said, absolutely not. I'm happy with my contract. Okay, files the claim, hangs up. 15 minutes later, oh, I'm sorry to tell you this, but since you have a tile roof, it's now our policy, and this is bad faith, 100%, and Harvey can tell you this, it's now our policy that because you have a tile roof, we're sending an engineer out. You're trying to tell me that on every claim that you have at Tower Hill, you've sent an engineer on tile roofs. No way, not possible. So that's bad faith right there. Then, that he schedules the engineer, calls me, says, hey, Paul, can you come this day? Yep, I'll come and look. 15 minutes after that, the insurance agent calls him. The insurance agent tells him, are you sure you want to file a claim? He goes, I've already filed the claim. What are you talking about? Well, your roof is 22 years old. What's 22 years have to do with it? You've been taking my premium payment every month, so I should have coverage, correct? Oh, well, because the age of your roof, you know, we shouldn't probably you shouldn't probably put a claim in because they could drop you. And then if you hire an attorney, we're for sure going to drop you. That's a lot of bad faith. And so this gentleman knows the insurance industry because he's been in the medical field, and he just laughed. And when the lady went to hang up with him, she goes, okay, well, since you're going to still put the claim in, are you sure you don't want to use our preferred vendor? So he says no, and he goes with us. Matter of fact, so here's the last part of this. So I go and meet with the engineer. The guy shows up with flip-flops. Gets on the roof. He doesn't even want to get in the crawl space. I've done this business long enough to know what they should be doing. When he didn't want to get on the roof first, I knew something was funny. So we walk around the property, show him everything on the property. We get up on the roof. He was on the roof 5 minutes, got off, said, have a good day. So that's what people get, what you're getting here from the insurance companies these days, and it's sad. They're not being honest. They're not training, or they're not treating people the way they're supposed to be. Last story I'm going to say real quick is when I became an insurance adjuster in 2004 for a company called Pilot, I was in a class with 500 people. And here's the insurance company stand. And everybody needs to know this about the insurance company. I worked for Pilot, who did State Farm and Allstate claims at the time. We had 4 hurricanes in Florida. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. The last day they go to say, hey, we're going to send you to Port St. Lucie, Florida. That's going to be your area. But before you guys leave, there's 2 things you can't pay for. Okay? Well, I'm from upstate New York, so I don't know what a screen enclosure is, but you can't pay for screen enclosures. You can only pay for a repair. Secondly, they said you can't pay for tile roofs. And I raised my hand, and I said, well, I got State Farm for my insurance. I said, my understanding is if I get damaged, you pay my claim. The guy laughs at me in front of 500 people and says, you don't understand, do you? I said, well, what are you talking about? He's like, we don't answer to policyholders. We answer to stockholders. That's all you need to know about insurance company, guys. They're not on your side. So be careful. Make sure you have somebody that can help you, that's going to be responsible with your claim. If you need a public adjuster, a contractor, an attorney, make sure that's who you hire. And the last thing I'm going to say is, Renegade Roofing, we offer roofing, general contracting. Anybody needs any help, let us know. We do windows, fencing, screen enclosures, roofs. We're here to help everybody if anybody needs to partner up. And the last thing, like I've said this a couple times, but one of the things that people are happening right now, how many public adjusters do I have in the room? All right. What's tomorrow? What can public adjusters start doing tomorrow? Can start charging 20%. So there's good and bad attorneys, good and bad public adjusters, good and bad roofers. How many public adjusters that have a claim right now are going to tell their homeowner, well, since tomorrow's the day I can charge you 20%, are going to do that? Well, we know there's some out there because we've heard them say that. So be careful and educate your friends and your family to go with a public adjuster that you've been with that's going to treat the people properly. Not wrong. This is a big problem that's going to happen starting tomorrow, is you're going to have guys, and I hate to say it, but from the other coast, that we all know gives bad names to the PA world, are going to start telling all their people, oh, well, you've been with us. Oh, well, we haven't got it approved yet, but we're going to re-supplement your claim, and now we're not charging you 10%, we're charging you 20%. So before that happens, either call another public adjuster, call Harvey Cohen to help, because that's going to be a problem, a huge problem. So anybody got any questions? So Citizens, and I'll let Harvey talk on this because he sees it more than I do. I see all of them. But Citizens is pretty much, if they're not agreeing with you, going to appraisal. That's their big thing. They want to go to appraisal to an umpire and get it settled that way. Do you really want to go that? I mean, if you have a Citizens claim, I'd get with, again, attorney or public adjuster. I've worked Citizens claims. There's people in this room that I work with that have Citizens. Some are easy to deal with. Some they're just going that way. The one Citizens claim I have is with an attorney. It was $360,000 worth of work, and they offered $110,000. We're going to umpire in 2 weeks. So Harvey, you want to say anything about the experience with? All right. Any other questions? Exactly. Any other questions? All right, from here it's going to be Mr. Bobby, and the last but not least, who you guys all came to see, Mr. Cohen.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. All right, Harvey Cohen. We kind of talked a little bit about this a minute ago. He is one of the guys that helped write the legislation to get insurance claims going. He has over 80 attorneys. Smart cat, been in the Army, U.S. Army, I think it was, right? You know, I can't read all his stuff that he did, but let me tell a little story about Harvey. I wash my truck once a year, whether it needs to or not. So not too long ago, I washed my truck. Again, once a year I do it no matter what. Cleaned it all out. Man, I'm so proud of myself. I got it done. The very next day, I go to a homeowner's house. Their house is trashed on Fort Myers Beach, and I'm going to write a contract with them, probably about a $200,000 contract. We're doing the roof, the siding, the windows, HVAC, electrical, the whole 9 yards. I go look at my truck for a pin, and this is the pin I find. That's what I had to write my contract. This is a swag that Harvey has. Harvey, come up here and talk to us about some good stuff. All right. Have some fun.
All right, hi, hey everybody. My name's Harvey Cohen. I have a law firm. Like you said, we represent homeowners, any insurance claims. We help people like that. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit off right now. We do a lot of condominium associations. We do commercial claims. Can everybody hear me okay? We do commercial claims. We do, literally, we've handled tens of thousands of claims. We've been in business over 20 years. A little bit about my background is when I was a young, crazy kid, I joined the Army and did the bill. And that's what paid for my college. And then I went to law school. I was a prosecutor. I started in a little office downtown Orlando, and now we've grown this business. And you know, we're statewide, and we got probably around 250 employees now. And it's just really incredible to see the growth. But it's taken me 20-something years to build this thing up. But we are really here to help people, and that's why I love working with Paul. Thank you for putting all this together. I know everyone else has thanked you, but really that this is just such a great panel. I'm honored to be here. We are here to help people. Everybody on this whole panel is here to help people. I'm sure all of you are the same. You know, listen, we all want to get paid, but you have to do the right thing first, right? The money will come as long as you take care of people. And that's what is, you know, in our hearts and the way that we run our business and the way that we take care of people. That's it. That's our number one goal. Just take care of everybody. Everything else will come into place. Before I forget, there are two things that I really wanted to mention, everybody. Number one, today is the 1-year deadline, right? They changed the laws about the time that you have to file a claim. So it's 1 year now, but all the Ian claims and Nicole, we still have 2 years for those, okay? So I'm getting a lot of calls from contractors that say, oh, I heard, the deadline's coming up, it's next week or whatever, and I'm trying to explain to everybody, no, we still have 1 more year to file the claim. So everybody needs to remember that. You still have 1 more year to go get Ian claims or Nicole claims and get those filed. as long as they're filed timely, right? That we can litigate those later. As long as they give the insurance company notice, then we're good. You know? Shoot, I forgot the second thing I was going to tell you guys. And it was important. No, somebody said something up here, and I was like, I got to remember that. But anyway. 40%. Huh? Oh, the percentage thing? Anyway, so I hope it's not like that. There are great public adjusters here. There are some that I know, like really, really good ones. And we all work together. And the name of the game, and really I appreciate everybody that's here. Hopefully they saved the best for last. Not really, because this panel's great. But there are so many good people here. All of you guys, it's great to get to meet you. If I don't know you, please let's talk a little bit. We're here to help everybody. I give everybody my cell phone number. I will really call you back or text you back at any time, day or night. If you call me, I'll return your call. Another thing that I wanted to mention, we haven't done a lot of business together with was it Claim Pay? I'm sorry. But I would tell you this. A lot of people are worried that they go, okay, can we still get funded, put on a new roof, rebuild the house, and then do the insurance claim? And the answer is yes. And it's a great way to do it because it's already a cost incurred, right? The insurance company can't say now like, oh, you have some, pie in the sky estimate. You have an actual invoice about this is what we've done and this is what's owed. And so for us, when we represent our homeowners or associations and we say, look, this isn't an estimate, here's the bill. Our homeowner owes this amount of money or has paid this amount of money. And so it's over, like that, it really helps out. So I tell people, I urge them all the time, get funding, do the project, as long as we put the insurance company on notice that we're going to do that. And that's a really important thing. We get calls all the time where somebody already replaced their roof and then they want to file a lawsuit. It's hard. You can't get your engineer out there and say, oh, based on the other houses in the neighborhood, this is probably hurricane damage. Too late. But if you give them notice, what we do is we send a letter and say, you have 10 days to bring out any of your engineers, experts, do any inspections you want. But after 10 days, we're ripping off this roof and putting on a new one. And then if they try to come to court later and say, oh, you spoiled our evidence, we say, no, we gave you every chance, every opportunity. You didn't do it, so then we're good. So that's always good. Get somebody out there to do that stuff first. Put the insurance company on notice before you rip off the old roof and put on a new one to give them the opportunity to do what they're supposed to do, which is the inspection. Oh, that was the other thing that I remembered. The other one is, and I see this a lot, the stories you were just saying, okay, somebody, oh, well, if you file a claim, we're going to dump you. Let me tell you something. If you open a claim, the insurance company is not allowed to drop you anymore. Does everybody know that? You cannot drop somebody with an open claim. They have to wait until your claim is completely closed and your property is repaired before they can. They don't drop you, they non-renew you. But the game they're playing lately is what I've seen is they're increasing the premiums so high that people can't afford it anyway. We signed up a big association. Their premium was like $250,000 a year. It's a big one. It went up to $1.2 million. They go, oh, we're not non-renewing you. We're just going to give you a new premium. And of course, they couldn't afford that. So it should be. And so I'm glad that that there are good insurance companies or brokers here that can help do things like that because that should never happen, never. But those are the kind of things too that I try to give insurance companies every opportunity to act in good faith, and if they don't, there are things that we can do and file certain paperwork to prove that they are not acting in good faith. And then what happens at the end of the case is we not only get money for the clients for their home or their association, we go back and say, now you owe us even more money, And I'm going to tell you this. Every bad faith claim we've ever filed has been settled like that because the insurance company has to give us all their secret information if we file a bad faith claim. And they'll do everything they can to not give that to us. So ultimately, we're fine. You want to give us a bunch of money that we can give to our homeowner? Good. See you later. And then it just helps everybody. Well, I don't need to do this. Listen, we have folders up here. We have cards. My cell phone number is on all the cards. Please, seriously, reach out to me if there's anything else I can do to help anybody. Are there any questions? Yes.
All right, so you said that you get a claim and you give them the 10 days to do it, and you go ahead and do the roof or whatever the project is that occurred. You know, I have a lot of homeowners that say, well, what if I don't get my money from the insurance company and you've already done the roof, Bobby? So how do I answer that question, Mr. Jones?
What I tell people is, especially associations, I go, listen, no matter what, you have to put on a new roof. Whether you get money from the insurance company or you don't, you have to put on a new roof or do repairs or do whatever it is to mitigate your damages, or else they can, not pay you. So I wouldn't worry about that. I don't know if we're 100%, but we are close. Like I know all of our claims. And I'm not talking about going to court, but claims, just claims, we're probably close to 100% of getting paid. Every trial we've been to, though, we've literally collected, not everyone ever, but probably the last several through Irma, we got paid every single penny that we asked for from the court. When we actually went all the way through trial and got a jury verdict, we got every single penny that we asked for. But listen, out of 10,000 claims, I might have one that goes all the way to trial. Yeah. Yes, sir. So, yeah, okay, so, right, so, and that's a good question because the law just changed. So, what has always been, so we charge 15% or statutory attorney's fees, whichever is greater. That's what it says in our contract. Statutory attorney's fees means we get, if we go, okay, here's $85,000 that we collected for the roof, we can give that to the homeowner and say, now you owe us $15,000 for our attorney's fees. So all of that goes to them, and then we get paid on top of it. Ultimately, when we work together with contractors, our goal is always just get enough money to make sure we take care of the homeowner. That's the whole goal. So it doesn't matter if we cut our fee or do whatever it is that we have to do. The way that we work is we'll call you up and say, hey, we got a certain amount of money. Is this going to do it? Will you be happy with that? Will you do this entire project only for the deductible? And if they say yes, then we call the homeowner and say, hey, good news. We got X amount of money. Your contractor said they'll do it for this amount. You still owe the deductible. And if that's good with you, then we can settle this, and we settle it. In the future, unfortunately, because of the new law, they changed that, and we can't get fees anymore. So we're going to have to work on different strategies, but we want to come up with creative ways to still be able to represent homeowners and get paid, some kind of fees on top of that. And, I have a great bunch of attorneys that are way smarter than I am, and they think of good stuff to put things in place. There are certain things that when you get into court that we can file, and if they don't do a certain amount, then we get fee money that we collect. Yes, ma'am. Right. Right. So just so I understand, so the question is basically like you file a claim, but then now we have more and more damage. Right. So, yeah, anyway, if they haven't paid the claim or if somebody hasn't signed a release, then we can go forward with a claim for that. Even if, and here's another trick that insurance companies love to do, is they go, oh, no, we already paid that. Case, you're closed. This claim is closed. It's not closed. It's not closed unless they signed a release. So they will pay these, at what I call them drive-bys. They'll drive by and look at the house and go, okay, here's $8,000. See you later. And they go, oh, we paid it. Your case is closed. It's not closed.
We paid for full replacement value, and because we have an older home, they're saying, okay, well,
They give us $4,000 and said that's all we're going to pay.
Okay.
It's an older fence, so we're just going to give you what, well, it doesn't cost that much anymore.
Right. It's way more expensive, yeah. Yeah, and you got the replacement costs. Everybody know that, the difference between actual cash value and replacement costs, okay. So, yeah, and you guys know me, so why didn't you call me? I'm blaming that on Anthony. All right.
I got one of your pens.
Okay. All right. Yeah, but we're happy to help you with that.
Okay.
For sure, yeah. Yes, sir. That's a good question. And I just read an article that they investigated like the 6 companies that went out of business, and they were blaming everything on attorneys, public adjusters, contractors, everything else. The top, I think, whatever they had, the top 10 reasons that these guys went out of business. Number 1, mismanagement from themselves, not us. It doesn't have anything to do with not that. All of those things weren't even in the top 10 of what they were blaming us for. They go to Tallahassee and they go, oh, we have to increase premiums. Look at all these fees we're paying. Look how much a roofer charges, So it was all BS. But unfortunately, the future is tricky because we need insurance, right? And these guys are leaving. And I don't know the answer to that. I know, like, when Jeb Bush, like when they were trying to pull out years ago, he made a deal with them and said basically, like, look, you can pull out, but then take all your auto claims because auto makes more money than, they lose money on, or I don't want to say lose money, but it's probably more lucrative, right? More, right? So that's what needs to happen here. We need to work with insurance companies and say, you can't just take all the good stuff and leave us with the horrible stuff. That's what insurance is all about, right? We have to get, like everybody puts in money into a pool so that way when it's your turn, you need it, that you have it. And so I don't know what the future brings, but let's see.
To add on to what he says, how insurance companies work is basically they take your premium and they are basically investing your premium to make more money on top of what you just paid. That's how they work. Or for property and some of these carriers. All right, they basically take that money and then they invest it to make more money. So what he means by mismanagement is they're placing their money incorrectly, and the next thing you know, they don't have enough money to pay all these claims from Hurricane Ian, let's just say. So that's why a lot of these companies are just pulling out because they're mismanaging what's going on. That's a huge issue with what's happened. That's what a lot of these companies do. They're big billion-dollar, million-dollar vendors, investors that come in. They start this group. They fund the money. They pool the money. They start an insurance company. So then they have the money to, here you go, here's your policy. That's how they pay claims. And then we get into the process of reinsurance. That is the investor's money now. It's not the pool of money. They put in 90% of the money from your premium, and then the other 10% is the pool of money that they're keeping. Once that premium is gone, they tap into the investor's money. Investors don't like losing money now. So they have to pay back the reinsurance, the investors, before they do that, before they start paying. No.
That's FICA. So if they go all the way out of business, it's FICA.
Yeah.
The reinsurance is when they're actually working on
So what we're dealing with right now is a lot of these companies that have paid out a lot of claims, they got to build back all the money to pay their investors back. So that can happen through paying like general liability, auto, life insurance, all these other type of insurance that are out there to pay back what they just lost, because they got to pay back their investors what they lost. So that's how there's a lot more to insurance than what the eye sees, basically.
That's true. Yeah. But here's another, and they probably know more than I do, but I read an article that said, years ago, something like 60% of your premiums went to pay claims. Now it's something like 30%. So that just shows you the difference in their business models, right? And how deep they are in the administration and making money on all of those instead of doing it how they used to do it. All right. Any other questions for Harvey? Oh, thank you. That's it.
Harvey, real quick, just explain to the people the importance of having a team, either a public adjuster yourself or a contractor yourself, when you're settling the claims for these people, and why they would want to have that team put together.
I love those, and especially when it comes to big commercial jobs. I love going out with contractors, with public adjusters, and we tell people, we got the whole team. We're all here for you. We're going to take all of this stuff off of your shoulders. Who does commercial claims? Anybody? Commercial claims? All right. Well, anyway, listen, if you do, you go to these condo associations, these boards are made up of a bunch of, retired people that they'll tell you, oh, well, I was a contractor 40 years ago in Ohio, and let me tell you how to do this claim. And we say, well, it doesn't really work like that, sir. But you understand, right? That's what we run into. But it's really good to come together as a team and match up, whether you're a public adjuster, contractor, attorney, get together with other people and put together that team. And it's just a much stronger pitch to the board, and they love to see that you're working together. But thank you. Anything else?
And one other thing with that, guys, just so you know, I deal with a lot of manufacturers. The manufacturers will come to those meetings with Harvey, myself, public adjusters as well. You can give them other materials they can use. Like tile, they're always looking for, if they have money, all of them don't, but some do, they're going to look for another manufacturer. Brava Tile is a perfect one, 188 mile per hour uplift on their tiles. So you want to go there, educate them, and you have the team. That's, again, why we're all together here, as a team, to give the client the best options.
All right. Any other questions? And I'll be around. I don't know if we're still going to hit balls or whatever. But thank you again, Paul. Thanks, everybody on the panel. Thank you all for your time and all the education that you gave us. Thank you, guys.
Real quick, everybody, there is golf, open golf from now to 11 when they close. So just get with the waitress. She'll show you what bays you guys can go into. I think we have 5 open bays where you guys can go drive golf balls. Everybody's going to be around. I want to thank everybody for coming, and I want to thank our panelists. Everyone, give them a big round of applause, please. We'll be doing another one of these probably the first, second week in November before the holidays start. A lot of snowbirds will be coming back down that'll need some of this info, and we'll be changing some of this stuff up. But last but not least, Bobby's going to do some raffles. If you haven't put your business card or a piece of paper with your name and phone number and email in there, get it in now, and we'll call those, and then let's have a good time.
All right, so if you are not here and you win, you don't win. All right, we've already gave a round of applause for the panel, but how about a huge, huge round of applause for me? I did a good job. We like to have fun, guys. All right, Luke's going to put about 7 cards in. All right, we're going to have Kim be our chooser. Hang on one second. just so you guys know, Renegade Roofing has a policy. We don't just have one public adjuster. We have three. We have different attorneys. We have different mediation companies. We do that on purpose. So just because we have these guys on our panel, we're going to use these guys not exclusively because we have partnerships. You're going to bring me jobs. I'm going to bring you jobs. We're fair and square and all that type of stuff. Just like Anthony's going to have different roofers. That's okay. There's a big pie out there. We got to share it amongst ourselves. We got to team up, be together on this whole thing. All right, next we got a black bag. Survey says. ESA Building Science Authority. That'd be Shane Bailey. Take the win. All right, now we got a little gray bag. Gustavo Romero. Did I say it right? Gustavo is here. Got to be here present to win. These are rules and regulations we live by. Tech in a flash. Matthew Rebstock, are you here today? Hi, Matthew. I didn't even see you here today, sir. Each bag should have a card in there of who gave the gift away. Do a kindness and send them a text or a call or thank them. You know, everybody invest in our prizes and stuff. So just do an investment, just do a kindness for them. All right, now we got a red bag. Survey says this one. All right. Is really big sexy? You're big sexy? Okay. I didn't want to say nothing, but if the shoe fits, I don't know. Let's go again. All righty. Amy Langevine with Florida Freedom Title. Amy is gone. Yep. Womp, womp, womp. Richard Krotzak. Did I say it right? Did I say it right? Richard? Thank you, Richard. Now we're going to black bags. Come on. All right. Moving down the road here. Robert King, Magna Homes. There we go. One more black bag. I'm missing. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Kelly Reyes. Woo! All right, once again, everybody, we thank everybody for coming. We've talked enough up here. Now it's time for you guys to come talk to us, shake hands, pass out business cards. Oh, we got another one? Oh. Okay, we're not going to do that yet. Pick a good one, pick a good one.
Those are two different.
What's that? Oh, two different prices? All right. This is from Steve. Stephen Hayden. Claims. Yeah. There we go. Thanks, Stephen. One more, one more. This is pretty cool here. Multi-tool. Bobby Baker. No. Kim Crispino. Woo! All right, guys, let's go have some fun, shake some hands, meet some folks that you don't know. Thank you for coming.